Welcome to Beer Corner USA's Beers of the Week. I'm Chris Bettini, and let's go.
I'm Max Stewart,
Mike Perdue,
Aaron Bush,
Adam Dessler, Brad Lincoln.
And we brought these two guys in because this beer, Adam's the one bringing it in, and this gentleman's the one who brews it. And you started the brewery, right?
I started with my co-founder Gordon.
Okay.
And he actually does far more of the brewing than I do. I don't think I've actually been in the brew house for quite some time. I'd love to say that I'm the one brewing the beer because I think it's so delicious, but it's more him than me.
Yeah, that's all right. We need everybody's support.
Yeah,
for sure.
indeed.
It's all part of making the beers.
Absolutely.
So Funkwerks is new to Nebraska.
It's new to outside of Colorado. Let's
Yes.
put it that way.
First market outside of Colorado.
Right.
And you guys are a relatively young brewery.
Yeah, we're just a little over 2 years old at this point in time.
So it's new to everybody, which is good because
Right.
there's some Saison nuts in this house.
Well, and that says something to the fact of the quality of the beer, because in order to have such a new brewery to come out of the state that you're supporting, that you live in, to be able to move out of the state, that says a lot about the beer. You know, people want it, people are ready for it, and they're ready to accept it and drink it. And I know a lot of people, we talked a little bit before about some Omaha transplants coming up to the Fort Collins area.
Yeah,
That's helped immensely, I think.
I feel that with Northern Colorado and Nebraska, there's a lot of connection.
Sure.
So it's kind of a natural fit with the market.
Sure.
Also for us, we knew the guys over at Nebraska Brewing,
Yep.
and they were pretty helpful in talking with them when we were first starting up.
Good guys, Paul, Tyson, Kim,
Yeah.
Angela, yeah, good people.
So because of that, they introduced us to the distributors out here, and we were starting coming to the festivals
Right.
pretty soon. Because they kept inviting us. We were like, well, let's go do that. It'll be fun. And so this kind of became a natural fit as the first state out of Colorado.
Thank God.
Yeah.
you know,
Thank you.
we keep talking about this beer, but I think we need to drink some.
Thirsty.
Are you thirsty?
The first Funkwerks beer we're going to take a look at today is the Saison. This is brewed by Funkwerks in Fort Collins, Colorado. The brewery was founded in 2009, and this beer comes in at 6.8% ABV.
So the first beer,
Max,
Brad,
second one. We're
I'm
gonna do
assuming,
glasses.
and this is an assumption on my part, this is your flagship?
Yeah, this is our flagship.
Okay.
So this is the one we did about 10 different test batches for.
Wow, cool.
And then we ended up choosing batch number 6, the combination
Okay.
of bill and yeast and hop profile to kind of create this beer. And then this ended up getting a silver medal, not our first year GABF, but in 2011. And then our last year, it also got a gold medal.
Right.
GABF.
Wow.
Last year at GABF, you guys also got another award, didn't you?
Yep, we got also gold for deceit, and we ended up getting Small Brewery of the Year.
Small Brewery of the Year. That's the one that I was kind of mentioning.
Yeah. That's way too cool.
I mean,
I think
2
Brad's
years.
a little low. I think Brad needs a few more ounces there. Brad's in town. You know, fortunately, we're lucky enough to have Brad in town for our Extreme Beer Fest. So you'll, once you've seen this video, hopefully you'll be able to meet Brad at Extreme if you have a ticket. So,
and if not, hopefully we can invite you guys out quite a bit. So.
well, there is no invitation. It's always open.
It's just an open door around here.
It's always open.
Okay, all right.
Ooh, that aroma is awesome.
This is the fun part about these videos, is the fact that it's what you taste. There's no, you perceive what you perceive, and what he smells is different than what I smell, and what you smell, and this smells like fruit cocktail and hops.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Having been to some pretty well-renowned farmhouse breweries in my day, I've been lucky enough to be to DuPont. I've been lucky enough to be at Fantôme twice, and I've gone to Therese in France once, all of which are solid Saisons. This is good.
This is right up there.
This is good.
It almost, as much as I love Saisons from Belgium, the brightness of this one is
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to do, we were drinking all of those Saisons when we were creating this beer. That's what we wanted to match. A lot of the Saisons that were being done in the States at that point in time, although they've actually gotten a lot better, nothing was as good as I thought as what we all was doing at that point in time. So we really wanted to match that every
Sure.
year.
Well, you hit the nail on the big head.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, wow.
With so many breweries, getting into Saisons lately, there are a lot of them out there now, but there aren't, as you said, there really aren't any that.
Well,
Focus.
Yeah.
it's funny because when we first started this out, people thought we were crazy for doing anything with Saison, let alone kind of building a brewery around it. And now it's kind of it's pretty cool that more people are doing it. It makes me think like, we made the right decision.
Well, it's always good to be that first guy on the ladder. You know, you started it, now people
You're
are
the
gonna kind of.
trendsetter.
Absolutely.
I
So,
don't know if we're that, but we just got lucky. I'll take it.
No.
are you guys exclusively Belgian style then?
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't think we've done anything outside of Belgian style. I mean, some of the stuff that we do, we use more American hops, but it'll still be in kind of a Belgian vein.
Right.
It's not
So
gonna
you've put your own funk on
Yeah.
Belgium, but it is still a Belgian-based
Yeah,
beer.
yeah,
Nice.
very much so. And we still, most of our stuff is Saisons. Both Saison and King are both, true Saisons. We're using Saison yeast for those. And then something like the Dark Prophet or Deceit, that's not really truly a Saison, it's out of style. And sometimes we'll use Saison yeast for those beers, sometimes we won't. We kind of just explore whatever we want to.
Well, and that's the nice thing about beer is the fact that it is so flexible.
Mhm.
You know,
Well-
from a Saison standpoint, correct me if I'm wrong, from a category, if you will, it's very broad. I mean, it's not like you just say, oh, this is Saison. It's not like it's an IPA or it's a stout. I mean, you can vary so much in flavor profiles of Saisons. To me, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I think that's changing for other beers too, because I think I heard of like a white stout recently or something
Wow.
along those lines. I don't remember where it was when
Right.
I heard that. I know it sounds
That's
crazy.
Max.
That one just totally messed me up.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll tell you what, for being your flagship beer, I'm gonna say this is a solid, awesome
Rock and
beer.
roll.
Cheers.
The second beer in today's brewery spotlight is the Funkwerks Tropic King. This beer comes in at 7.5% ABV.
What about this beer? What can you tell us?
So this was actually came out of a mistake. When we were initially...
Best things do.
It's a good story too, it's a good story. We were brewing a beer for the tap room, and Gordon had built this beer up. We wanted something to be a little bit more hop focused for the tap room. More than Saison, this was only about 3 months after we opened. And so we had found these New Zealand hops called Racal, and so we were using them.
Oh, yeah.
We milled in, I milled in, I'm not gonna, this isn't anybody else's fault but my own, 2 extra bags of Munich malt, which really kind of changed the color and just changed
So
the
that's
beer
why
in
it's
some
got that
way.
kind of more of that coppery color?
A little bit more of that.
15 barrel system?
15 barrel system.
15 barrel system.
Yeah.
So another 100 pounds.
Yep.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I looked at Gordon, told him what I did, and he's like, I can't believe you did that to my beer. But I was like, nobody's tasted it.
This is why you don't spend as much time at the brew
It
house.
is, exactly.
You changed the locks on your bread.
So at that point in time, we brewed it, and everybody really loved it. It kind of took off in the tap room. I think this has changed a little bit since that initial recipe. I think we kind of made it a little bit darker and that kind of thing, but it's still.
Oh, it's so
hasn't
fruity
changed
good,
since the
though.
second
Yeah.
time.
It's got like juicy
It is,
fruit, like
yeah.
bubblegummy, just it's awesome.
What are we at? 9.5%?
No, it's 8%.
8%. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still an imperial saison, so
Yeah.
somewhat of a new addition to the style.
Yeah, this was one of those things where when we were like, what do we call this beer? Because we need to distinguish it from the regular saison. So we were like, well, why don't we call it imperial saison? And then we didn't know if other people will use that term or not, but I've seen other people using it now. So
Yeah.
I feel good.
So
There's
we're-
imperial everything.
Yeah.
So where did
Right.
the term Tropic King come from?
It was, Gordon had originally named it, honestly, Maori King. And it was named after the New Zealand hops. And then the Maoris got upset with us for naming it Maori King.
Really?
So it's actually, yeah, the Tropic King. We just called it King around the brewery. That's kind of what it is. But yeah, that was why it's called Tropic King.
Sure. Who's ringing?
I'm ringing.
Oh, it's the pressure button. We're all right. It's not going to deter us from the good beer. So imperial saison. This
People
is.
are calling, they see it right now. They're
I know,
like,
right?
Where's that beer?
Yeah.
Mike, you got the
Turbia? Yeah.
They know how much time Mike spends in Beertopia.
Exactly.
So this is, you have 2 regular lineups that are year round.
We have Saison and King always, and then we have always a seasonal.
Yep.
So this first seasonal that we have out here in Nebraska is Dark Prophet, which we'll try next. And
Yep.
then the next one we have was formerly called Boston, but that was our test batch name, and it'll be called Solina.
Okay.
And that'll be coming out in the next few
Very,
months.
very good.
Dave clapping behind the camera as we speak.
Max and
You
I,
guys can't see it, but Dave is back there just having a grand time because he really enjoyed that beer in the tap room.
Of the beers that we do, I would say Solina and Saison are my favorite beers. And they're kind of my go-to beers when I go out.
Yeah.
Honestly.
there's a,
I really enjoyed the Montagna that he had on tap.
Montagna?
That
We
was
just tapped the last keg in the tap room, they said.
Yeah.
I said that on Facebook.
very vibrant fruity. I really dug that.
That was one of those beers that actually got a lot better as it aged too. I think I was out for a handful of months in the tap room, and at first I was like, so. But then really kind of grew on, I think, at me and everybody else too. I cleaned up quite a bit. And we have a bunch of experimental beers we just released in the tap room too. That's one of those. We named them after various different cities in Belgium.
Oh,
That's
okay.
changed.
Nice.
We've run out of city names.
Well, the King is good.
Yes.
Another great beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the Maori.
The last beer in today's brewery spotlight is the Funkwerks Dark Prophet. This beer comes in at 9.5% ABV.
So here's a question: Funkwerks. You're not Funkwerks Brewing Company. You're not anything with brewery Funkwerks beer. No, it is just Funkwerks.
When Gordon and I were starting to come up with names, we always had a little trouble with names. And we didn't know what we wanted. We knew there were certain things we didn't want. We didn't want brewery in the name, as you mentioned. We didn't want any animals in the name, no dogs or anything like that, no geographic features. So it kind of didn't leave us as much, to be honest with you. And I had really liked the way that like the Japanese companies kind of said like Fuji Heavy Industries and these types of things, the industries part, which now it's not too part of it. But at the time, it sounded decent. And then we started playing around with that, and Gordon was like, well, how about Works? And so we ended up choosing Works, and we started putting different words in front of it. And the one that we ended up choosing, of course, was Funkwerks, but we did like Beer Works, and a lot of them were taken at that point in time. And I didn't really like to make Funkwerks, nor did Gordon at first. And then it really grew on us as we started telling people, and it got people's attention. They were like,
It's definitely a grabber. It's a name grabber for sure.
Well,
go on.
I'll tell you the thing I've always associated with it was the Skunk Works. Famous producers of experimental aircraft. And so when I see you guys doing a lot of experimentation with the Belgian styles, with Saisons in particular, I guess I kind of think about them at the same time, and
I know,
really
right?
kind of same level of excellence that you're producing.
I'm trying to listen, so I haven't
I've been
smelled it
enjoying
yet.
it.
No, and I can see
This
that.
is a level of excellence. Holy crap! This beer's good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites that we do in the season. We didn't actually know about that at first. I mean, we knew about it. It was somewhere in the back of our head. That's probably why we kind of came up with it. But then, after a while, we figured that out too. And it was like, oh, that's another cool thing about the name. That it was.
I envision you listening to krautrock in the brew house. Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk.
Very nice.
I actually do like Kraftwerk quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
So this is one that's not a Saison. This is a Belgian strong dark, and this is big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's about 10.5% alcohol, and we age it in Maker's Mark barrels for about 2.5 to 3 months, and then blend it out with a fresh beer, like a new beer that we built that is the same beers that we brewed into the barrels originally.
Gotcha.
To get the balance that we want to get.
So it's not overly boozy.
Right, that's the idea. A lot of the stuff, we really want to go for things that are drinkable, so you can actually have more than one glass without being like, oh, that's too big.
More than one glass of a 10.5% beer.
Yeah.
I want to try it.
There are
if you
those.
want. I want it straight out of the barrel. Not
Straight out of the
blended.
barrel.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that? You ever do that?
I have tasted it out of the, but it's not
Pretty
You don't like you don't ever sell it in the tap room or anything like that? Boy, and your tap room is like one of the smallest tap rooms ever. Max and I were lucky enough.
Jeez, degrade the guy window, yeah?
No, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Like, it is so cozy and comfortable. Like, you walk in and there's a bar and there's some tables. What I was going to say is we were lucky enough to go up on Bill's Beer Odyssey adventure to Fort Collins. And we were up there, and what I love is you walk out back, and there's picnic tables, and there's bags games, and it's just kind of like, it's like you're hanging out at your buddy's house drinking beer. It is such a comfortable place to be, with a lot of really cool artwork on the walls.
I would like to say, like, take credit for that, but it was actually Fort Collins Brewery before we were there.
Oh,
and
really?
We were the ones who had done, like, all the wood and everything along those lines, so we just leapt into it. And we painted the wall green. It was like a different color green before, but that's about it.
Really?
A lot of different colors of paint out there.
Yeah. We ended up just painting. Everybody actually thought we were a dispensary at first when we first opened.
It is Colorado.
It's some kind of a dispensary.
The funky stuff.
The rumor was going around town that we were going to start a dispensary in the back. And it's like, no, there's no dispensary. We're going to lose our federal license if we were to start a dispensary. So.
Dark Prophet. Then go back to the beer. I know this is a lot of fun. Go back. Dark Prophet is not your traditional Saison yeast, not your house strain. This is a different Belgian, a higher bit gravity.
I don't know which strain we
Okay.
use, to be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me if we did a little bit of French Saison strain in here. But I think that there was another yeast that we used as the main yeast.
Okay.
I know in the past, like we did Dark Prophet, and Dark Prophet changes every year. It's like we have a Cherry
Sure.
Saison, and that changes every year
Sure.
too.
So
Last
what we're
year
drinking
was.
this year, next year's will be different.
Next year's
You
will be different.
changed the whole recipe, everything.
For the most part, we might just like fine tune it. It's not going to be
Yeah,
one of these things
take
where
your-
we're looking to change it and go completely one
Okay,
right.
because some beers,
Yeah.
the same name, but every year it's a different style.
Yeah, and this is not necessarily a different style. But it will be. Maybe we won't get the Maker's Mark barrels. We'll want to try another barrel.
I was gonna say barrel availability or wanting
Or
to change
just,
it up.
yeah, we're just
package
wanting to
as
change it
well.
up, maybe go with a local producer or whatever. And then, yeast wise, if we could have found another yeast by that time that we like to use too, and so we'll just kind of.
Well, I tell you what, whatever it is, keep making it because
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
it's-
Cheers is terrific.
Yes.
It's a good brewing.
Ooh.
I like that.
It's
Cheers.
good. Wow.
Smells like beer belch.
Yeah, well, that was from him. We can't thank Brad Lincoln, Mr. Brad Lincoln here enough to
No, we
come and
can't.
hang out with us and explain, stuff that we are just very thankful to have.
This
for
is
having
this
me.
is our way of welcoming you guys officially to Omaha.
Yeah,
I mean,
We're very happy to
100%.
have you. We hope everybody out there is equally happy.
guys, try these beers. They're all awesome. They're available in Beertopia. You said they will be coming in draft eventually.
King for sure.
Okay, at least
Okay,
one for sure.
yeah,
So we
and then
should
we'll-
start to see some draft
And the
around town.
seasonals too.
Okay.
Will also be coming.
And if people want to check out more about you, what's your guys' website?
Funkworks.com.
Easy enough. And works is not spelled like you think. It's
That's right.
WERKS. So gives it a little different twist
Yeah.
on it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, wow, seriously.
Thanks again.
Indeed.
We had to bring in everybody. I mean, Max has been, I think, trying to get you guys
The
here
proprietor
since
of all
like 3
this.
months after you guys opened.
Max and Adam both.
He gets more credit than I
And
do.
we're all a bunch of Saison heads here,
Cheers
so
to you, bud.
to welcome again to Omaha. Welcome to Nebraska.
Cheers.
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 Gordon, Carolee, thank you. It's trust
Wish you
me,
were here with us.
Yeah,
Indeed.
you will be here next year. We'll come get you.